This fight with Poirier is trending bigger than the fight with you and Conor on pay-per-view. Imagine what you and Conor would do in another fight. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Ну, свой пик он давно прошел. У каждого человека есть свой пик. И он ее давно прошел. Так что должен был он со Спиналом драться или нет, это вопрос, может быть, будет всегда стоять. В данный момент, да, для меня Спинал лучший тяжеловес мира.
It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall, na. Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Cyril Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home, and so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Cyril, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if...
Back in the news again, and this time it wasn't about his team or his coaching, but something for more loaded, because during a recent interview he pivoted sharply and brought up Ilia Topuria, lowering his voice and choosing his words carefully, saying he simply doesn't believe Ilia, hinting at doubt, deception, and motives that don't quite add up.
Илья Топурия может быть?
Не, он хороший парень.
Да.
Пытается быть кем-то. Сразу же видно. Не, я не думаю. Интерес противостояний, стилей, там, бойцов, чемпионов, может быть. Но такого, знаешь, как нет. И Ислам тоже.
Возможно, да.
И Ислам...
Boom, Conor McGregor fired back on Twitter in his unmistakable, thunderous style, loud and unapologetic, sharp, bold, and cutting to the core, a digital punch thrown without hesitation. The post instantly sent fans into a frenzy, timelines flooding as if something buried had clawed its way back to life. It felt like the past returned with intent, as though their long-dormant feud had finally awakened from a deep, uneasy sleep. Almost immediately, people began asking the dangerous question, wondering aloud, will we actually witness Conor take on Khabib again? The air felt charged, heavy with anticipation, and the internet didn't just react, it detonated, buzzing with theories, memories, and raw emotion as haunting echoes of old rivalries resurfaced. Images and moments from history suddenly felt alive again, threatening to ignite the opening spark of yet another legendary, chaotic buildup. Even wilder, an old clip suddenly surfaced, showing Dana White talking with Khabib, leaning in, clearly trying to pull him back into the fire, urging him to step in once more. You could see it in Dana's eyes, how badly he craved it, how relentless the desire was. And honestly, who wouldn't? This would be one of the largest contests in UFC history. Fans watched the video and completely lost it, convinced it was a missing piece of a larger master plan, with Dana quietly working behind the scenes to make the impossible happen, and the discussion instantly grew louder, sharper, and impossible to ignore.
This fight with Poirier is trending bigger than the fight with you and Conor on pay-per-view. Imagine what you and Conor would do in another fight. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Cormier and Chael Sonnen were both pressed on whether Khabib walked away too soon, and without hesitation they agreed, yes, absolutely, no doubt about it. Their view was blunt and unsettling, that Khabib quit while he was still operating at his absolute peak, with countless battles left waiting for him. He wasn't fading or slipping away, as some like to claim. Instead, he was still evolving, still sharpening himself in dangerous ways. DC highlighted Khabib's rare intellect as a fighter, the kind of mind that only gets more lethal with time, while Shell added that it's almost unheard of to see someone leave so early, especially with that much dominance still intact. This wasn't casual fan chatter or nostalgic talk. These were men who understood the game deeply, inside and out, and their words carried weight, fueling the sense that something unfinished was left behind.
Too soon. I thought Khabib could have been fighting today, and there's a chance, because I mean, Islam is a bit of an extension of who he was. But to know them is to know that when his dad passed, it took a lot away from him. And so when he decided, I'm going to do something different, you know, mom's like, hey, you and your father started this journey together. I don't want you to do it without him. If he made that promise, I knew it was over.
And I will tell you this, when the UFC started to negotiate with Khabib, they started adding zeros and commas and bigger checks and Conor Part 2. The UFC missed it. That wasn't the number they needed to change. The number they needed to change was a 155-pound weight class to a 170-pound weight class. You would have gone Khabib versus Conor 2. It wasn't that he didn't want to fight and he didn't want to fight Conor. I don't believe that. He didn't want to beat the scale anymore. And that's the one thing that the company did miss.
He retired too early.
White also weighed in during a separate conversation, adding more fuel to the tension, stating that he has always respected Khabib's decision to walk away, even though deep down he believed Khabib still had for more to give. Dana admitted that if Khabib ever reconsidered, even for a moment, he would be ready without hesitation. Still, as Tone pointed out, he genuinely felt the UFC could benefit right now from someone like Khabib being involved. Yet all signs suggest Khabib remains disinclined to return, no matter what others say or how loud the calls grow. He is fully committed to coaching his athletes, especially Islam Makhachev, who is preparing for his next battle. Khabib's focus is locked entirely on his team. He is no longer chasing personal glory or acclaim. Instead, he has transformed into the kind of coach who pushes his fighters relentlessly, drives them toward their absolute peak, and demands nothing short of greatness. He doesn't talk about his legacy anymore. He builds it quietly, relentlessly, through them.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Для меня, если я буду, например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Мадалины, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Мадалина.
Demetrius Johnson, the legendary Mighty Mouse himself, stepped in and confirmed that Khabib now ranks among the most demanding and intimidating coaches in the game today. He emphasized that Khabib drives his entire squad in ways most fighters would never truly understand, pushing limits far beyond comfort or familiarity. This isn't simply about brutal physical training, even though that relentless element is absolutely present and unforgiving. It goes deeper. It revolves around iron discipline, meticulous structure, and an unceasing mental focus that never switches off. Khabib wants total devotion from his athlete, complete buy-in, body and mind aligned, no shortcuts, no excuses, only pressure, precision, and purpose.
I think we drilled after that, and then the next day, they came back, and it was even a longer grind session. I'm like, you guys do this every single day? He goes, yes, brother, for 8 weeks. Sacrifices. You want to be the best? I'm like, nah, I don't want to be the best. I'm done with that shit. Y'all can have it. But just to experience it, you know, and seeing what the best pound for pound fighter in the world feels like, and he hit me with that darts too.
They broke down the upcoming fight and Islam's dangerous form under Khabib's guidance, dissecting every layer with growing intensity. Judo focused closely on Islam's technique and movement, pointing out sharper transitions and cleaner timing, while Usman and Moore shifted the conversation toward his mental state and cold, calculated cage management. Together, they painted a picture of a fighter evolving in real time. Both openly praised Khabib's seamless transformation into the mentor role, noting how naturally the authority and vision carried over. They stressed that Islam's recent improvements weren't random or accidental, but the result of training beside someone who has already stood at the absolute peak, learned its secrets, and now knows exactly how to pass that knowledge on.
Makhachev's gonna beat him. I think he's gonna become the 11th double champ in UFC history.
Islam tweeted, keep it shiny, keep it nice for me. JDM, I mean, it was kind of like the perfect comeback. He was just like, yeah, come get it.
Keep my belt clean. Okay, so the talking has begun, dude. That fight is set. That fight's gonna take place in October, Abu Dhabi. I think we all know that. We're no longer gonna get Ilya versus Islam Makhachev just now.
Things took a sharp turn when Khabib suddenly weighed in on John Jones, calmly stating that Jones was past his peak, a line that immediately detonated across the sport and stunned many listening. The comment landed heavy, especially since Jones hasn't competed much in recent times, leaving space for doubt and speculation to grow. That single remark triggered a wave of divided reactions. Some agreed without hesitation, pointing to Jones's age, accumulated injuries, and long stretches of inactivity as proof that time had finally caught him. Others fired back just as fiercely, insisting Khabib was wrong, arguing that Jones still carries an undeniable greatness capable of resurfacing at any moment. Either way, the damage was done, as the statement poured fuel on social media, igniting non-stop debate, heated arguments, and endless contention that refused to die down.
Ну, свой пик он давно прошел. У каждого человека есть свой пик, и он ее давно прошел. Так что должен был он со Аспиналом драться или нет, это вопрос, может быть, будет всегда стоять. В данный момент, да, для меня Аспинал лучше тяжело.
He didn't hold back at all. Jones responded without reservation, declaring that he still planned to fight Tom Aspinall, and not just anywhere, but on the White House card of all places. It sounded completely insane on the surface, almost unreal, yet Jones delivered it with total seriousness, making it impossible to dismiss. He spoke openly about how badly he wanted that fight, how deeply the idea burned in him. The thought of a showdown with Aspinall on such a massive, historic stage instantly had supporters buzzing with anticipation. It felt dangerous, electrifying, and perfectly chaotic, everything MMA fans crave in their wildest scenarios, even though many questioned whether something that bold could ever truly come together.
So they've announced this White House UFC fight. What do you think about that?
I think it's exciting. Very exciting.
Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have a very strong feeling that I'll be on that card.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any possible names you think?
Well, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. And I feel like it'd be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night, and I'd be willing to put it all on the line.
Nice.
He crushed those hopes almost instantly. In a recent interview, he dismissed the idea outright, saying it simply wasn't a good move. Jones, he explained, presented more danger than benefit. The accumulated injuries, long layoff, lingering doubts, they all stacked against the fight. He wasn't willing to risk a major card on something so uncertain, couldn't place full trust in the outcome. And when Dana speaks with that level of conviction, there's little room for debate. His words carry the weight of finality, signaling that the decision isn't just opinion, it's already set in stone.
Be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is at that time. But would you be okay with him like coming back and potentially winning that belt again? And you might have to go through.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, you know how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions, in a big spot, and have something go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, especially the White House card.
He was questioned about the situation, and though he didn't entirely side with Dana, he clearly grasped the reasoning behind it. DC gets it, he sees John's unmatched potential, the fire that once made him unstoppable, but he also faces the hard facts staring back. Jones isn't the exact same fighter he used to be, time and battles have changed him. Yet DC was quick to emphasize that no one can dispute what Jones has already accomplished. Whether fans love him or despise him, his place in MMA history is cemented, undeniable. Still, that legacy alone doesn't mean the UFC should stake everything on him today, betting a major card on what might be, rather than what is.
Yes, sir.
I saw John Jones, it's back in the testing pool.
Yes.
Talking about going on the White House card.
Yes.
I think with his extensive criminal record, the Secret Service will let him on the White House grounds.
That's such a good question.
That's actually a good question. Well, we always have to pass background checks when Trump's there and he got the fight, so I'd imagine he will be. And I gotta be honest with you. All right, so listen. All right. No disrespect to anyone here. I love you guys so much. You can go to the White House and I'm positive you'll win, right? But if we really need an American to win, right? Gotta kind of send John Jones, don't we? I mean, seriously. Like, I mean, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't like him, but it's like, if we need an American to win, don't we just send the guy that always wins?
Yeah, no, he's going.
And he said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And nobody tries harder than me. Are you sure John Jones doesn't try a little harder than I do?
I don't know. It's close.
It's close. It's close.
Magu also shared his perspective, and he fully aligned with Dana's stance, leaving no room for doubt. He asserted that the UFC's focus must be on cultivating new stars, rather than clinging to the legends of the past. He specifically praised the decision to back Aspinall, insisting that giving him a spotlight in major contests is the smart, forward-thinking move. Magu was unwavering, almost stern in his conviction, emphasizing that the organization's future hinges on fresh talent, the rising fighters hungry to make their mark, not on the veterans whose prime has already passed.
For saying, I can't have John Jones on the White House card. If I was Tom Aspinall, I was like, he's not worthy to fight me. He's not worthy.
Yeah.
You just retired. You need to work your way back up and get a title shot.
I hear Dana's point on not letting John Jones in the fucking White House, 100%. Absolutely hear his point. I get it. You know what I mean? You don't want the first lady getting a black eye. So, weave, Melania, weave!
With the UFC fight in the White House, I bet you they'll put ice on Tom.
He concurs, already laying the groundwork for new fights for Tom Aspinall with relentless focus, mapping out paths and matchups with precision. Throughout all these discussions, not a single mention of John Jones surfaced, completely absent from the conversation. It's glaringly clear where his attention lies, and you can plainly see that his vision, energy, and strategy are firmly fixed on the rising talent, leaving the past firmly behind.
Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Cyril Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted the fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home, and so they obliged. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Cyril, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if it doesn't play.
Tom Aspinall faced questions about the entire situation with calm precision, exuding a composure that cut through any hint of theatrics or provocation. He made no effort to insult or stir drama, instead stating plainly that he was ready, fully prepared for any challenge looming on the horizon. His confidence in his own abilities was unwavering, every muscle and mind honed for the major fights approaching. As the reigning champion, that quiet, measured self-belief carries weight, earned through relentless training and proven victories. Fans notice it, respect it, and it has become a central reason why his credibility and following continue to grow, quietly but unmistakably, solidifying his standing at the top.
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I was pretty sure that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and just takes one shot, mate, at heavyweight.
Bisping fueled the hype even further, boldly declaring his full confidence in Tom to defeat anyone, legends included. His faith in Aspinall is immense, unshakable, and when a figure of Bisping's stature speaks so decisively, the world takes notice instantly. The statement sent ripples through fans and analysts alike, sharpening attention and heightening anticipation. It's unmistakably clear that Tom is ascending at a rapid pace, carving his path to prominence, and he isn't doing it alone. he's backed by some of the sharpest minds in the sport, their guidance and endorsement amplifying every step of his rise.
Take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact. Saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down, show him what you can do, show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Cyril Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet. But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get.
This entire saga is absolutely wild, from Khabib's revealing interview to Conor's explosive tweet, and the firestorm surrounding Jon Jones. It's a whirlwind of tension and unpredictability, like we're watching Conor stir chaos while Jones's path remains uncertain, and Tom Aspinall emerges squarely in the spotlight. Every twist keeps fans on edge, each moment more electrifying than the last, blending suspense, rivalry, and rising stars into one combustible mix. If you're hooked on this high-stakes fight world drama and want to stay locked into every shocking update,